And just like that, everybody, we are rounding out the third month, everyone, of Leap into the Week with no other than Mr. Patrick Fingles joining us back here for yet another week. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, man. It's good to be with you again. You jump onto social media, you jump onto your Instagrams, your Facebooks, even LinkedIn's. I mean, you can get it anywhere now, folks, and you can get bombarded with some negativity. You get it from contractors, colleagues, bosses, who knows what. But in the contracting community, I'm a firm believer that the future is bright for those who are going to take advantage of it, those who are going to step up and do more. And today, Patrick and I are going to be discussing some of those bright spots in the next 3 to 5 years that he sees, some of the stuff that's coming up around the corner to get excited about. So if you're going into work today and you feel like, man, what do I have to look forward to in that next couple of years in our business? What is this industry going to be doing that's exciting? The next 12 minutes, man, is what it's all about here for you, okay? And that's where I want to lead into with you, Patrick. You run the best CRM company there is for contractors in the country. I firmly believe that, and thousands of contractors agree with me. With that in mind, in that realm of CRMs, organization, keeping people on top of their jobs, all the stuff that you do within that world, what are you most excited about over there at Leap? Let's say in that next 24 to 36 month mark, what really gets your blood going right now?
Yeah. Listen, man, I mean, our industry, home improvements is growing up. And that's just great. It's growing up partly because of technology. It's growing up because of society. It's growing up because, the business owners are strong, and so I get really excited about that because, if you think about the influence on our industry from the outside world, like e-commerce, the way we buy goods, the way we get food delivered, like it used to be like, man, it was a brilliant day when a Domino's set up next to your house. So you could, for the first time ever, I remember the first pizza I ever got delivered. And now, like, that's an afterthought. I mean, DoorDash, 1,000 options, right? I mean, it depends where you are in the world. But yeah, DoorDash, lots of options. And so, this charge in the way consumers buy things is going to like charge our industry. Like, we can't escape it. We can't stay here, right? I mean, dude, 10 years ago, like when you bought a house, your real estate agent would like meet you at the Kmart or whatever. And like, she'd have like 7 houses. She'd hand you like the listings and you would like follow her and she'd have to pull over because she went through the red light and whatever. But you'd go to that's houses and you'd walk in and you'd look at them, never seen them before. Now think about it. It's like your realtor, you like, just tell your realtor, like, hey, I want to see this house. They just wait for you to call them and say, meet me at the house, right? I mean, the virtual walk-ins, I mean, it's coming. You're going to, people are buying houses without even looking at them. Mm-hmm. So, that whole environment, we can't stay subject to 3 estimates and the laborious process for hiring and managing your home improvements. You can't. So, the industry is going to become very professional, very fast, man. And so it doesn't matter whether you're a neighborhood contractor or a national franchise, you can be a professional remodeler. And I don't mean not to be confused with the pro. All these guys are pros, man. Like, guy comes in, does my kitchen. He's a pro, man. I can't lay tile. I can't do it. He's crooked and square, be sloppy. Yep. So we've always been the pros. But now, you're going to see that pro come together with that professional atmosphere. And I get really excited about that. I mean, e-commerce is going to come to market much stronger. Software is going to, is flooding the market already, and it's going to continue to flood. And there's going to be more and more solutions put out to really manage your business in the most effective and streamlined way possible. And contractors are going to get really, really good. They're going to get really, really, going to become really professional experience. And I'm excited from both sides because I'm a homeowner and I've hired a contractor before and it wasn't a great experience. And I'm a contractor and I know what it looks like to not provide a great experience. And I'm the CEO of Leap. And so I understand this ecosystem of contractors. So I'm inundated from all sides. And, the idea of it just being this awesome, seamless process, like, buying a roof is now as easy as getting a gallon of milk delivered on Instacart. I mean, that's going to be an amazing day, man. It's going to, and I think home improvements will boom because, as you know, the number one reason that somebody hasn't completed their home improvement project is because they haven't gotten around to finding somebody to do it. Number one reason somebody hasn't done their kitchen is because they haven't gotten around to find somebody to do it. Yeah. Like imagine if the number one reason you didn't get the steaks for the party this weekend is because you didn't know where you could get some steaks. Like it's so archaic. Yes. So that's all going to change. We're going to explain in industry is going to, there's going to be some real benefactors, and there will probably be, and I don't say this from a self-serving place. I don't want people to like jump on the software bandwagon, but there's going to be some people that fall behind, but as long as you're open to change, I believe everybody can succeed. There's a lot of homes out there. We need a lot of contractors, a lot of successful companies. And like I said, you can be a boutique neighborhood contractor and run an amazing business. You can be a national franchise and run an amazing business. Or, you can be the latter, right? So anyway, that's what I think.
For these contractors succeed, as you said, and be open to change, Patrick, they're going to have to integrate, all right? I mean, there are going to be different companies that integrate with their business, I think, inevitably. Is there a certain integration that you're seeing out there? Maybe someone that Leap has integrated with recently. I know you don't like to play favorites or anything like that, but even if it's just an industry that you're integrating with that you think is exciting for contractors in the years to come, an integration out there.
Yeah, well, I would say that it's like transparency. I mean, that's what's missing from the process, right? Like when a home improvement project is completed and you talk to a homeowner, majority of the time, like I've done this before. You go over to your friend's house and you're like, hey, your kitchen is beautiful. We're thinking about getting ours done. Who's your guy? And you're like, and the person's like, I can't recommend them. The kitchen is beautiful. End result's fantastic. Can't recommend them because it was a tough process. And when you think about what was wrong in the process, there was scheduling mishaps. There was maybe some material mishaps. There was probably some days that people didn't show up. You thought this was included in the project and it wasn't. Maybe I got nickeled and dimed on the backside. Like those are typically the leading indicators, right? I mean, that's it. So, any type of software that brings transparency to the process for the consumer. There are softwares that help manage the process behind the scenes, which is really important. But it's not important if it's transparent. For instance, your production manager has a software that indicates that material is on back order. The job was scheduled to be completed before Thanksgiving. It's now not going to be completed before Thanksgiving. You know that. Nobody called the homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the homeowner's left lost. So it's a combination of tying up your business processes and starting to conduct your thing, like play business, as we've said in the past, play business and make sure your processes are right, but make sure you're bringing in technologies that provide transparency. So let's talk about like the measurement providers, for instance, like the Eagle Views and the Hovers of the world. I love those products, not because they give us really accurate measurements, but they show the homeowner our diligence in measuring and bidding the project. Mm-hmm. So a lot of contractors don't show the homeowner the Eagle View report. Wow. They don't show it to them. And I've always tried to encourage contractors to make the Eagle View report part of the estimate or part of the contract because it shows diligence and transparency. Homeowner might not go through it, but when they see their house all diagrammed up and all these measurements, all this attention to detail, that creates a feeling of safety. So, anything that's really can help support the business operations or anything that is consumer facing. That's why, Leap, we have Sales Pro, like the sales tool. We kind of renamed Leap Sales Pro. But, I love that tool. Again, not self-serving because it interacts with the consumer. And so that's the trust and transparency they're looking for, and they believe technology. They trust it.
What about you personally, man? As you look at the space over the next couple of years, is there something in the world of tech that you are excited about personally that you look at and you're like, man, maybe it's as a consumer business owner, I don't know where it falls for you, but what are you personally excited about right now?
Oh man, AI.
Yeah.
Listen, and AI is like a buzzword, but like if you haven't used ChatGPT, just go check it out, man.
It's
Like
fun, man.
write me a LinkedIn post on why having a great culture is key to successful staff. And like, not to like cannibalize that, but like it'll write that thing beautiful. And we talked about like recruiting a couple episodes back. You can in 30 seconds write that, post that, put it on your content. So I love it, but it's not just the written word. That's not the point. The reason I get excited about home improvements is because a lot of guys are trying to figure it out. Right? Like it's like you talk to business owners all the time, man. Everybody's trying to figure it out. You don't like, if you want to do e-commerce, just do what Amazon does. Like, you know, it's the ChatGPT can bring our industry together and aggregate that data in a way. There might be 1,000 different production processes out there. Like our step one is this. There's 1,000 different 10-step selling models out there. So you got the 7-step, you got the 3-step. While there should be some independence, there doesn't need to be 1,000 ways to do something. Like, so I think ChatGPT or AI, not ChatGPT, but AI can help technologies like ours provide business owners with best in practice solutions. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to figure it out. Like, what is the most optimal production process for a retail roofing company that doesn't do insurance? And like,
Yep.
you know, AI is going to lay that out for you. And we're going to be able to take that and blow that right into your system. So when you buy your system, this laborious onboarding of software is going to go bye-bye, because you'll adapt your business to the configuration, not the other way around, because it's best in class. You know, while having some customizability. I don't want people to think like we would ever take that functionality away, but for people that are like, a lot of times people say to us, like, I have people ask me all types of stuff, man. Be like, hey, man, can you just put like, you got like pitch decks you can just put in our account for us, like company story decks, you know? And so it's like, yeah, I don't want to have to go write my whole company story. I don't want to have to write my whole sales training program. Like, does somebody have something I can take? And that's where a lot of consultants and stuff make a living, you know, because they take that process and they do all that labor for you. AI will do that and a bunch more. It will take the process, configure the software for you, and it's going to make it a lot easier so business owners can focus on managing their business, which is hiring the best people and training them on the programs. They won't have to worry about, you know, writing the job descriptions, onboarding the software, you know, writing the training programs. They'll just be able to do it. All the work all that foundational work will be done through AI. And so I get super excited about that.
Well, I think that you've shown us here, Patrick, the future is in fact bright. You answered my last question right here already, which is how a CEO can prepare for his company for the swift changes that are inevitably coming. But you prepare for those because you have the AI, you got the stuff already in place that can put those processes and let you know exactly what you need to do. I think that you make a great point that it's here to help us. It's not here for something to be fought against. And I love what you said earlier. The transparency to the process for the consumer is going to be key in the next 3 to 5 years, not just the transparency in your own company, but what the consumer is going to be able to see the contractor is doing is going to build that trust with that contractor and allow for a better customer service experience.
Yeah, nobody wants to get 3 estimates. You know, I mean, they just don't.
Yeah.
They don't want to, they have to.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to 3 grocery stores, get a gallon of milk. If I go to the grocery store and there's no milk, man, I'll set the place on fire. You know, like, just like, you know, and all I gotta do is drive a mile away over here to the highs. But like, that's a nightmare. You know,
Yeah.
who wants to go through this process? So, you know, and just like I asked everybody, I was like, hey, if you're open to it, I don't think there's going to be like, I don't want people to fear that. Just be open to it. Listen to the podcast, listen to the, you know, go to the seminars, do what you have to do to try to be a state-of-the-art business. Anybody's capable of doing it. We're doing the same thing. So we don't sit back on our heels. What I'm saying is, it's like some of my own thoughts mixed in with everything that I've read and everything that I've taken in from the environment, you know? So, you know, we have to do the same thing. We have to be open to change. We have to be open to listen, and you have to take things as they come. you know,
There it is.
and
Folks.
adjust. You know, it's going to be a monumental time. We're going to come out of the dark age, man.
Transparency to the process for the consumer is really what I'm going to take away from this, man, because we get so caught up, I think, in the contractors that I work with on the transparency of the process with our internal system, you know, that our operations and sales talks to one another. But how often are we thinking about the end product for the consumer and what they're receiving out there? And I love that about, you know, with something like Leap, you know, press of the button to get to this stuff. Like, you know, you mentioned the reports from EagleView. It's literally the press of a button to be able to download that and get that over to your customer. Those are the kind of things that are going to set contractors apart in the year to come, that ease of use to integrate those technologies so that it's seamless with the customer, not so much your internal, but the customer sees the hard work that you as a contractor are putting in. Folks, I'll tell you what, you can always take something away from Leap into the Week. I hope you found something right here. As always, Patrick Fingles, thank you so much for being the honored guest, the man of the hour. And we appreciate everybody for joining us here for yet another episode of Leap into the Week. We will see you next week for some more exciting news and something to jump your week off to the right start. Have a great one, everyone.